Hi all, this is Maria and welcome to my studio. Today's project is this fun little spider and dots shadow box that I made for Piper, and here she is holding it. She just loved it. She thought it was adorable. Let's go ahead and get started. We're going to be using a variety of paints and finishes. I will have everything linked below or listed below in the tools and materials section in the description below. And I'm also going to be using these flare buttons, and these just come from Joann. They're a little series of buttons that have little characters or whatever. And then I'm using these boxes from the Dollar Tree. And the reason I'm showing these to you is because a lot of us are always looking for something to paint on, and so I am too, and the Dollar Tree is a perfect place. So I'm going to repurpose these little boxes. They're little shadow boxes, and they usually have these little sayings and stuff on them. I tried to get the little center piece off. You saw in that first box that I pulled it off. It was a little hard to get off, and it kind of icked up the base. So for these small boxes, if the centerpiece comes out easily, I take it off. If not, I just leave it on. So I'm going to go ahead and sand it just a little bit, and that's because it has a bit of a raised printing on it, and I want to be sure that I get that off and get a nice smooth finish. And then it's just a matter of base coating whatever color I want to base coat the shadow box, and I do front and back, and just get everything a really nice coat on it, and that gives us an awful lot of really perfect surfaces to paint on and to do something a little bit different with. If you enjoy these types of videos, I really would appreciate it if you'd subscribe or leave a comment, give me a thumbs up. I really appreciate it. So here I am. I'm using this little 3-inch shadow box. So the external from side to side is 3 inches. The little circle in the middle is about a little over 2 1/4. And I base coated it with a chalky black. And then there's this really pretty glitter, galaxy glitter paint from DecoArt. And I'm trying this for the first time. And isn't that pretty the way it's going on? It's got a clear base to it, and then all this really pretty glitter. This one is the blue. It has a little bit of magenta, a little bit of silver, and of course the blue color. This is Milky Way blue. And I'm just using a small brush. You can see that it would have been easier if I could get that center off, but you know, it just wasn't meant to be. So I'm just using a small brush to get underneath the center piece and then around all the sides, the bottom and the sides on the inside. Isn't that sparkly and pretty? I just love that. Now I was going to leave this black, but I decided to paint that center in Peony pink. And so you see that I've got it coated and I'm ready to go. And it has a really nice reflection against that galaxy glitter. See that? Oh, isn't that pretty? So I'm really thrilled with the way that's turning out. So I found the center of that and I've marked it, and I'm ready to start painting. This is going to be a very simple painting. This is just a quick Spiders and Dots Halloween project for Piper, so I'm not going to get too involved with it. You can see the variety of paints that I'm going to use for this little basic spiral that I'm going to use on this piece. And I am using my crochet hook to put down the center dot in the same color as the background, which is Peony pink. And I used my N15 10mm for that center dot, and then I'll go around with the G6 4mm and just place down my colors. I'm using 4 colors here, so there'll be 2 dots of each color on the row, and I'm just doing a basic spiral. So this is the G6 4mm, and I'll just continue to spiral that around. For the next row, I'm using the K 10.5 6.5mm. Get a row of those down. So these dots, as I'm starting off, are fairly large, so you're not going to see a huge change in the spiral, but you will see a bit of a spiral. And I'm going to kind of go for a little bit of a spider web look. And for those larger dots on the outside, I am using the L11 8mm. I've been thinking of doing a video on how to you know, measure your tools so that you can follow a variety of patterns. I like to have a sort of a standard nomenclature, I guess, to make sure that you understand what tool set I'm using. So I always convert my Crystalite hook set into millimeters so that you can follow along with the set. But if you haven't measured your set, it might be difficult to do that. So here I've got the basic spiral, and now I'm going to go in with little tiny black dots and just follow those spirals around and just enhance this. And I'm going to go for sort of a abstract spider web look. It's really not going to, I'm not going to go to all the detail of making a spider web, but I'm just going to kind of give the illusion of one, or at least the suggestion of one, I should say. And I'll just use black and a very small tool to go ahead and follow the line of the spiral. And I've finished that. I'm finishing up the last row. These little shadow boxes are so cool. I love them. And the reason I kind of show you these things from the Dollar Tree is, you know, if you're looking for something interesting to paint on, you don't have to spend a lot of money on them. You can find something and, you know, just use your imagination. You know, when you first look at it, that's not maybe something that you could paint on, but with a little bit of prep, you're able to paint on it. So there's my spiral, and that's the basic piece. Now I'm going to put Duraclear satin finish on it, and I've got a couple of coats of that on the center spiral and around the top edge, and then I'll be using this spider web. It's kind of like, I don't know, like a batting or something, but at any rate, you pull it out. It's used first to make spider web decorations during Halloween. I'm just going to pull that apart a little bit, and I'm only going to just use a teeny little bit and a glue gun. Just put a little bit down, and I will attach one little edge of that spider web. This is supposed to be glow-in-the-dark spider web, but I didn't really have enough, so when I tried it, it was just completely black. So you might have to use quite a lot of it in order to see the glow-in-the-dark part of this. So I'm just going to pull that out. I'm just giving a little bit, a little hint of this spider web fill here. Put down some more glue and pull that out. And I'm using a little end of a Q-tip to get that stuck down because it's awfully hot. I will pull it underneath, cut off a little excess there, and then I'm going to pull it underneath the round center and just fiddle with it until I get it the way I would like it to be. Put a little dot on the corner. I want to pull it up over the edge of the shadow box, kind of pulling it outside. Kind of just pushing it behind the circle there and pulling it down. Just trying to get that stuck in there. I'm going to take a little bit of this off, a little bit more, because it's just too much. And get it stuck down in there with the glue. And now I can start applying the spiders. Now these spiders are actually in the button section. They're little buttons. They don't have a button, any kind of a button. They're actually a flat back. But they're where the buttons are. And I'm going to be doing several projects with these little buttons and shadow boxes because I just think they're so cute and they have so many different characters, and that I really think that they'll be fun to work with. So let me finish up getting my spider web in there. ugh, that glue is so tough to work with, but I think I finally get it down there. There we go. And that's the spider webbing. Now I'm starting to put some spiders on these. It came in a variety of colors. So I've got a little bit of contrast. I'll put one outside on the corner. And then I'll put one right on that center spiral. And then I'm just going to place a few more randomly around the piece. Do you think you'd enjoy adding little characters to your painting? I think this is a really fun project. But what do you think? Would you do something like this and add these little additional pieces? So there we go. I've got some additional random ones. I changed the placement out slightly. This is the final piece. And here's Miss Piper with her piece. She was just thrilled with it. So that's the project. Just quick and easy spiders and dots. I hope you enjoyed this project. Thanks so much for joining me in my studio. I'd appreciate it if you'd subscribe, leave me a comment, give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Thanks so much for joining me in my studio. Take care.